welcome to Showbiz Connect, where you make connections. I'm Hélène Rousse, Casting Director of Total Casting, and every month we bring you industry professionals to help you build a career on film, television, and even voice. And this is our 17th Zoomcast. And today's theme is Build to Last. And our guest is a very special actor from Montreal. We will also have our special draw for one lucky winner at the end of the show, plus our famous breakout rooms where you will connect with other artists. So, welcome, my showbiz, and tell me where you are in the chat. I see Montreal, Ottawa, Florida. Wow, welcome everybody. I want to see you. Turn your camera on. This is Showbiz Connect after all. Now, my quick casting director insight of the month. A career in this industry isn't built on one audition, one role, or one lucky break. It's built on consistency, professionalism, and showing up long after others have quit. Build your career to last, not just to launch. And now, our guest today. Here he is. Benz Antoine is a Canadian actor, voice artist, and producer known for his powerful screen presence and versatile performances in film, television, like 19-2 in English and in French. He's also widely recognized for his voice work in animation and video game projects, such as Overwatch. With over 30 years in the entertainment industry, Benz Antoine has become a respected figure in Canadian media and multicultural storytelling. Let's watch a quick demo for his performance before we get to talk to him. So let's watch him in action.
I decided to come here. She said maybe she didn't want to. I didn't believe her.
It's not my idea of having a girl, bro.
Yeah, she's gonna come down.
Of course she will.
She will.
Get the hell out of me. Well, I gotta check up on you. You're the rookie.
Not great with heights.
Nah, great with heights from more heights. How you like that, man?
Well, I was going over the edge.
We love to see him on screen, but we have him live here right now on Showbiz Connect. So, welcome, Benz Antoine. Hello, and thank you so much for coming to share your journey with us and accepting my invitation. Hello, Benz. Open your microphone. You're in the wind. There we go.
You hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Hey, Benz. Where are you?
Hey,
You have palm
I'm
trees.
here with you. I wish. I'm just pretending.
Okay.
I'm just doing like the rest.
That's nice to be outside. It's so nice. It's summery now, so why not, right? I mean, gee, thank you so much for coming here and to share your journey with us and accepting my invitation.
Absolutely.
This is so great.
Yes. I don't think I had a choice.
Well, you did, but I was checking before how long I know you. And you know what? I realized that I auditioned you for Death Race in 2008.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been like 18 years. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
And Ben did
And
the
you
role.
still look as good.
Well, thank you. You had the role of Joe's navigator. So if somebody wants to check you out, you should watch the movie Death Race. How was that experience actually?
You're breaking up a little bit. How was the experience on Death Race? Can everybody hear me? Yes? All right, good. The experience on Death Race was, I'd say it was life-changing, and in a way that I had not anticipated, because I was originally cast as a Toronto performer, and this is part of the business. And then they were trying to get me to be a Montreal performer. And the difference is basically I was living in Toronto, so the difference is bringing you in and putting you up and giving you per diem and it's a major difference. So, but the experience with working with Tyrese was definitely interesting. We didn't really get along, if I'm being honest, but it was great to be part of the movie. And to this day, it's one of my go-tos when people ask me, you're an actor, and I say yes, of course. And they say, well, what have you been in? And,
Right.
you have to have answers. You have to have answers that anyone would care about, right? Like if you're in a club, they want to hear something good. So Death Race is definitely one of my go-tos.
Yes, and did you get to speak with Jason Statham on it?
Oh yes, Jason Statham was very cool. This guy was very cool, very laid back. Everybody on TV is a lot smaller than you think when you see them. So, and I'm a pretty big dude. So,
You are
but
indeed.
Jason was very nice.
You are 6'4".
Jason was 6'4", yeah. Jason was very cool, very welcoming to his set and his movie. So I was very grateful.
That's nice because you also played in Gothica, V Wars, Get Rich or Die Trying, but the one that got you
Yeah.
also a lot of creds, I would say, street creds, is 19-2.
Yes. Yes. 19-2 was that was a blessing for sure.
Because you did that in French and then in English.
Yes, and then the funny part about that show is that when I read for that, I was actually living in LA at the time, and I came to Montreal to visit my family and stuff, and then they asked me to read for a show. At that time, the show was not called 19-2. For people who speak French, the show was called Les Deux Bœufs.
Oh,
That's what the show was called.
Les deux
Yes, Les
quoi?
Deux Bœufs. So
Les deux
Les
bœufs.
Deux Bœufs.
Okay.
Exactly. So 10 days later, when I was on my way back to LA, my agent called me and said, you got the part for Les Deux Bœufs. I'm like, what's that? I didn't even remember what it was.
Right.
And I said, well, it doesn't matter. Regardless of what it is, I got to go back because I got to go do Young and the Restless. That was my grandmother's favorite show. Don't judge me, okay? So soap operas are great. So anyway, I was going to go do Young and the Restless, and my agent was like, no. You got to come meet me because I got to explain to you who's in this show. You definitely want to be on this show. And at the time, I didn't know who Pods was, who Claude Legault was, who Réal Bossé was. Like, I didn't know anything. And, I didn't believe her that they were making me an offer because I'm like, well, where's the offer? They're like, oh, no, the offer is not going to be ready for a few weeks. I'm like, listen, I got to go. I need to know that number tonight. And then she said, all right, listen, meet me tomorrow. What is your plan? I said, my plan is tomorrow at 7. I'll meet you at 11. If you can convince me, I'll stay. And we went to this place called Café Cherrier. I'm sure that a lot of people from Montreal know what that is. We met over there, and I said, you need to write down on a piece of napkin what they're talking about. And I said, I don't even really want to work in French anyway. I want to focus on my English career. And then she wrote what they wanted to pay. And I said, bon, ben, OK, on commence à quelle heure? And that was that. And that's history.
Wow. And you started with the French one.
Yeah.
And then what happened? They offered you the English version? Because they didn't film both languages the same day.
At the same time, no. I mean, there was one year where it was overlapping. So there was one year where I had to get up in the morning, speak French, and then in the afternoon go speak English. So that was a great experience. No, they did not offer me the role. Could you imagine? They had auditioned everyone in Canada that they thought could play the part. So I guess there was 300 people. And they had told me that I wasn't allowed. Nobody from the show. They didn't want anybody from the French show on the English show.
No way.
And then, so I was like, all right, whatever. So yeah. So people that were auditioning were writing to me saying, listen, I know you can't audition for for the show. So can you help me out? And I was like, sure. And I just give them pointers of what I think they should do for the role. And inside I'm mad, but I mean, I can't, they don't want us. And then, but my agent in Toronto kept saying, kept writing to the casting director saying, I want you to see Benz for this show. And then they're like, all right, cool. And then she's like, but I thought you said you didn't want to see anybody from the show. And he's like, yeah, what show? The French show. And he goes, yeah, we don't want nobody from the French show, but do you want to see Benz? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Bring him in. And it's because nobody in English Canada knew that I spoke French. Because I had a career in English for many years, and none of the casting directors knew that. So when they were like, yeah, sure, bring him in. So anyway, they saw everyone they had to see, and I was the last person because I guess they didn't find what they were looking for because I had one secret that I didn't share to everyone I was helping out, just in case. I'm very generous, but you know, the master always keeps one secret. So the secret I kept, which was taught to me by Pods, who helped me a lot in creating this character because it was very complex. He said, you know, bro, you don't have to worry about it. You're not playing someone who's drunk because that's very hard. Someone who's alcoholic, that's obviously very hard. He's like, you're playing someone who is hungover. So it's a very different reality when you're hungover. You're used to being drunk last night, and today you're functioning. So everybody that went in there, I didn't tell them that last part. So when I came in and read, even though I was upset, I knew that it was going to work because first of all, there was no one left. And second of all, I had the secret. So when I read, I walked into the room and they were very happy to see me and everything. And after one scene, they were like, oh, yeah. You know, when they look around, they go, yeah, this is it. And then I'm like, all right, great. So we're good. And then I start walking out and they're like, well, where are you going? I said, well, we're done, right? I mean, you guys were looking all over the place. Well, what's up? And then they said, well, I mean, since you're here, can you read one more scene? And I said, fine, I'll read one more scene. And then, but it was great. You know, it was sort of, you know, that's one thing you got to learn in life is that when something is for you, it's not for someone else. And if it's not for you, then that's fine also. You know, you have to accept the, you know, the ups and the downs. And that was definitely a high point for me.
When it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Absolutely.
And how long did that last, that show?
So the French show went 3 years and the English show went 4 years. So wow. I can't complain. Because, as all actors know, it's very difficult to get any work, to even get one job, even for one day. And I was lucky enough to have a steady gig for many years. So I'm definitely grateful for that. It's funny. Even when I was on both shows at the same time, I remember being in the van, being nervous and saying to myself, all right, what happens next? Like what happens when this all ends? Because this is all going to crash and burn at some point. And I think that's the crazy part about, even when you're hot, you just don't feel comfortable. So in the end, you know, you have to understand it's not about myself. And I think that's why, you know, Built to Last sort of fits in too. Because, you know, you got to sort of understand that it's going to take a while. Whether it works right away or it doesn't, it's going to take a while. So have a seat, roll up your sleeves and get to work because it's going to be a while, for sure.
Absolutely, because you've been in this business for how long now?
Well, you're trying to age me now, so I don't like that. It's 35 years.
35 years.
35
and
years.
You started with one agent. You started in Montreal. Like, what was the chemin? Like, you started Montreal, Toronto, LA. Like, what was the steps?
So I started in Montreal. I was dating a girl who was an actress. At that time, I was a rapper. I wasn't even thinking about show. I was thinking about show business, but not acting.
You were a rapper in 1997.
Even before that. So basically, I was dating this girl, and she's like, you know, can you take me to my audition tomorrow? And I'm like, audition for what? What's this? What's going on? She's like, yeah, come on, please. And so I took her to the audition. I was waiting in the room, and in the room, and just like in the movies, you know, it's like the woman came out, the casting director. She came out and she goes, all right, you ready to go in? And I'm like, nah, I'm not here for that. I'm just waiting for somebody. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, do you want to come in? And I'm like, no. Like, I was mad. I'm like, no. And then, so she's like, are you sure? I need people like you. I didn't understand what diversity was back then, but I guess now I know what she was talking about. She's like, I need people like you. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. So when she walked away and she was real far, I said, well, what is it? And then she brought it back, showed it to me. It was very easy. I read the part, I got it, and then me and her broke up. So that was the story of how I started. But I'm very grateful to her. She's very successful, and she's technically she's the reason why I'm here. So I owe her everything. I owe her my career.
Yeah, you never know which door you're going to go through first. You know, some people sometimes it's because they do a certain sport, right? Like the Olympics
Yes.
people, and you never know.
Like Jason was a diver or something. He was an athlete anyway, and look at him now.
Exactly. I mean, how do you see relevant decade after decade? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If it's meant for you, you know, you have to. I mean, you have to believe in something. You know, if you believe in one thing, whatever's meant for you can't be taken away from you. So don't worry about it. If it doesn't work out, it's because it wasn't for you. Let's keep it moving and get to the next thing. You know, it's easy to say when you get it, but you know, 97% of the time you don't get it, and so that's what you're preparing for. You know, don't get too high when it's high, and don't get too low when it's low, because you're definitely not as good as they think you are, and you're also not as bad as you think you are. So I think that's how I approach it.
So well said, Ben. Definitely. And do you wear other hats in the business? Like, you know, I know you created events and you're an
I mean,
entrepreneur.
it's whatever it takes to get the job done. You know, I realized a long time ago that being a one-trick pony doesn't really get the job done. You have to sort of be able to do many things, and that's how I started in the voice world. Also, I didn't even, you know, it's funny now that I'm telling the story. I feel like it's always the same thing. I never know what I'm doing. I don't know. It's always like comes out of thin air, you know. So my agent gets an email about a show, about a video game. You know this story well, Hélène, but I'm gonna bore them with the same story.
Thank you.
And so she's, you know, we're getting the email, and it was like, you know, this is and the video had a code name, of course, so we didn't know what it was. And my agent kept saying, do you want to do this? I'm like, I don't even know why are they? I don't even do voice work. So no, we're not interested. And then he kept saying, and then the emails kept coming. And then finally he said, just sit on my table right here and just do the tape. Just do a voice, just do it. So I sat on the corner of his table and I just did it. And I just sent it off. Then that's when the calls really started. Oh, you're in the top this, and now you need to come for this. And my agent was like, listen, what is this? We're not interested. And he kept up that whole thing, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it was. And even if I knew the name, I wouldn't know what it was. Right. And he just kept up the same story. I don't know what it is. We're not coming. He's not interested, blah, blah, blah. And then finally we found out it was Overwatch, and which I guess is a pretty popular game. But the casting director from LA had to get on the phone and be like, listen, this is what it is, and we better show up tomorrow. That's what we expect. And we're like, yes, absolutely. We will be there.
That's right.
And you just never know what you're saying no to. That's the thing. You got to be careful. Don't ever think. Just be humble and be open to the process. And so that's how I got that.
Yeah, you got to stay open. That's for sure. Because yes, you're right. Your agent.
For sure.
Like,
so Hélène, thank you. I'm eternally grateful to you, Hélène, for that as well. So it's a collaborative effort. As long as the checks keep coming to me, then everything can, you know, I give you all the credit.
Yes, because we have to say to them also that this gig's been lasting for many years. Overwatch.
Say it again. Say it again. You broke it up.
Oh yeah, my.
Oh yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, it's been going on. Yeah, no, Overwatch has been going on for. It's still going on. It's still going on now. It's been like 7 years. So definitely.
Can you imagine?
Very, very happy about that.
7 years.
Could you imagine saying no? Yeah.
It's an incredible gig. And I remember calling your agent. Yeah, I said he's got a callback because we had 10 callbacks from everywhere around Canada. And you were one of them. And one thing that Benz needed to do is put an accent on, right? You have to put the accent on.
Yeah, that was I don't know what it is. I don't like speaking English with a French accent. I spent my whole life making sure that I speak without an accent. Now they want me to speak with an accent. So after I got the gig, I went to see this voice coach that maybe some people know around here, called Julia Lenardin.
Yeah.
And so I went to see her the day before I started the gig. But what I did in the audition, she's like, you know, she kept saying, when I went to see her, she kept saying, all right, so, you know, this is what you got to do, you know, for the audition. You got to do this, and you got to make sure you do that and do this. And I'm like, what audition are you talking about? Like this Overwatch audition. I go, no, there's not audition. I got the job already. I'll start tomorrow. He's like, you got it? With this? Like, yeah, I feel the same way. I have no idea how this happened, but apparently I got it with this. And then now I just want to clean it up, you know? So she was very shocked. She thought it was not good. And that's another thing too. Waiting until something is perfect, waiting until you have the right short film, the right script, whether it's you're applying for whatever, you know, green card, whatever it is that you're doing, they ain't got to be perfect. Just show up, because most people don't even show up. So if you show up, you're already ahead of the game. Don't worry about it being perfect, because I'm gonna tell you, most of my auditions that got me the longest gigs, in my mind, were not good at all. In my mind, it was terrible. But you know, it doesn't matter what we think. Sometimes we think we killed it, we crushed it. We're like, yo, I'm gonna get this for sure, and you don't even get it. So keep yourself out of it. Do what you do, and let the powers that be decide, and let the universe work in your favor.
Yes. And to give them an idea also, because some people don't know how much a voice thing could pay. They think, oh, voice work, does it actually pay? Yes. Like, how much is it like per hour, for example? I mean, I know, but I want you to, if you want, just to give them a ballpark.
We ain't talking about numbers now. Is you look at the smile? It's good. It's good. It's definitely good.
It's very good.
It's definitely good. But most importantly, it's just another avenue to be creative, you know. And I remember when on my first day, and even every time I go work for them, I'm always nervous, because I'm like, they're gonna find out that I'm not that dude, but they never find out, because the fact that you have high standards makes you insecure. And as you know, all artists, if you are any bit of an artist, you're probably insecure, and that's okay. It's fine, you know. I remember they were telling me, you know, you're flying through the air and you're jumping and you're doing this, and I didn't know anything about voice acting, so I'm in the booth jumping around trying to figure out what's going on, and there's some guy in LA that was like, "What's all that noise? What's all that noise over there?" And
we
then,
have a clip of that. Should we show the trailer first, and then we'll show a clip of Ben just a few years back?
Absolutely.
That'll be fun.
Absolutely.
They'll give an idea of what it is, because some people don't know games as much. So let's watch that.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Reporting my position. I'm going in. Get inside. Someone has to keep you alive. Let's go. Take your medicine. I'm ready to go. Don't mention it. Safe zone here. Get here. No stopping me.
Barrier activated.
Let them out. No second chances.
Oh, now we see it. Wow.
Did you see the video or no? The trailer? Yeah.
No. We just heard it. We heard it. We only saw one image at the end.
Oh, okay. The Wi-Fi is the acting. It must be your energy, Ben. Can we show him in the booth?
Uh-oh.
We'll try that. Hopefully everything will work. We'll check it out. But
Come on! Oh. Come on! Come on! Break through their line! Keep them guessing! Come on! Break through their line! Keep them guessing! Come on! Break through their line! Keep them guessing!
cool,
Okay.
huh?
See, I'm still moving. 7 years later, I'm still moving.
You're moving, and the mic and everything. And We have to say
Yeah.
like Benz is doing 3 different takes because that's what it is usually in studio, that you're gonna go and take the best take possible from the 3 shots. It's usually 3 times in a row, and sometimes they change it,
Yeah.
but definitely. But it's true, when I called his
I might-
agent, your agent said, "Oh, he doesn't do callbacks." And then we explained to him what is a video game, you know? And I think that brought you
Yeah.
had an agent in New York at the time, and then
Yes, I
and then
did.
your agent said, "Oh, you do voice work." And then didn't they start booking you, audition you?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it was. It opened a lot of doors for me. You know, it's just that now I have a curse because I started off on one of the best shows in Quebec. So now everything else after that is like womp, 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 womp. And now I'm on. I was, you know, I was lucky enough to get on a great video game. So now when other video games come, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, maybe. So you know, but again, you gotta stay positive. You never know. It might be a code name. You never know. You have to don't be focused on the result. Just focus on the work. You know. But I have a question for you. Am I going to be able to learn anything about the 3 people, the Reginald and Frederick and Kenya, or is it just is it one-way street? Am I going to learn anything about them?
If you want to, we can bring in Fred. Why? Well, there might be some
Yeah,
questions
sure.
for you. Good voice, Benz.
Okay.
Yeah, Olivier says, good voice, beautifully said, well done, man. So we have great little comments for you there. And I think,
Fantastic.
yeah, I think Fred's done.
Just to give you an idea of how I don't want to say bad things about myself, but just how lost I am at times. Hélène told me, come and do this thing, be my guest. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, let's do it, let's make it happen. And then the other day, she's like, all right, I'm going to send you the Zoom link, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's on Zoom? Like this is the story of my life. I actually thought I was going to the studio. We were going to be like face to face and have. I had no idea it was on Zoom. Maybe it's better that way. Maybe it's better that I don't know anything because it seems to be working for me. I never know what's going on. I'm always the last to know. I'm like, what? She's like, this is a Zoom. Like, I'm like, this is a Zoom? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's
For sure.
it
Well,
works for me. I like to keep my brain empty. Keep it nice and empty. Just 1 gig hard drive. Just whatever I'm doing now, that's what's in there. And then right now, it's just this, nothing else. And once this is done, empty that file and leave it open for the 1 gig I got to do next, which is pick up my son. So that's what it is.
yes, because now you're now a dad.
Yes, that's the coolest job ever, though.
Isn't it the greatest role?
It is. It really is. It really is the greatest role. Only difference on this role is that you don't actually get paid. You sort of use the other. It's like a funnel. You use whatever you made over there, and then in this role you actually pay out. But I guess you get all the love and the acceptance and the unconditional love. I guess it's all worth it.
Yes, you can relate. It helps for roles, actually. Real life experiences.
It does. And whenever I go to pick something up, my 5-year-old is like, "Daddy, I got that for you." I'm like, "Nice," because he knows. The other day he asked me. The other day I was driving with him in the car, and I said, he's like, "Oh, my hat's gonna fly away." I'm like, "No, it's not," because we like to drive with the top down. And he's like, "Oh, my hat's gonna fly away." I'm like, "No, it's not." And then I went to Toronto for this meeting, and then when I came back, I told them, I was in Toronto and my hat flew off. And he's like, "Really? What did you do?" Because he knows I can't bend down. So he's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Well, I had to get down there, run and catch that hat." And then I bent down. He goes, what did you lean on? 5-year-old, what did you lean on to bend down? I'm like, nothing. I forgot that I couldn't do it and just did it. Just go ahead and bend down and pick it up. So he asked me the greatest questions, and he makes me dig for the best answers.
So cute, yes. I've seen pictures. I haven't seen him in person yet. I mean, Ben's used to come to the office, do all his self-tapes for years. And once in a while you do for voice, and you got your last gig, another voice thing.
Yes. You're my good luck charm.
Absolutely. And did you ever have like an audition or a time where it was really weird and funny that you can recall? Like a funny example, something you remember?
When you say funny,
I mean,
when you say funny, you mean like I'm
a
not
weird
working?
time or audition or just something strange that happened in your career?
Oh, weird. The whole career is strange. How many things to pick from? You say so something weird and strange?
Some
That's
people have
a
funny experiences,
good question. Something,
but
yeah, funny experiences. No, no, no.
no
I don't really have
anecdotes that
funny
you,
experiences. That's one. You stumped me. Funny experiences, no. But in something strange, yeah. Whenever I don't get the role, I think it's very strange. Because in my mind, I always plan to get the role. And when I don't get it, I keep looking at my phone, going, "Something's wrong. This is very strange." Actually, when I was younger, I used to call. This is not good. Do not do this at home. Not recommended. If I didn't get a role, and as we know, 97% of the times you don't get the role, when I would meet up with the producers again on another projects, I would remember them and ask them, "So how did that work out for you with that person that you chose? That wasn't me. How'd that work out for you?" I was all ego back then, like really, like big ego, and but I don't recommend to do that. It's not a good idea because it's not. You know what the funny? You know, I did this short film with a friend of mine. We wrote it and directed it and produced it. And there's a guy, and he'll never know this. We went. It was a small project, and it was a very small role, and we had like about 6 guys that came in. We chose the guy that we thought was the best, and and he came and he did it. But the guy that we didn't choose, and I always thought to myself, I feel like I should choose this guy, but I'm not sure. And it turns out that this guy that I didn't choose, is bigger than the guy we chose, bigger than even myself now. And this is, I'm talking about like something like 7, 8 years ago. In that time span where he was reading for a short film that he didn't get, he just kept it moving, kept doing his thing. And now he is basically huge. And it just goes to show you that people behind the table, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea. They have so much stress. They have so many things going on, so many moving parts. They're doing the best they can. And if they don't choose you, it's okay. It's not because you did something wrong. Sometimes they just didn't see it. And in his case, I'm like this. Why didn't we choose this guy? This guy's amazing. And I felt it in my heart, but my partner kept on saying, "Oh, let's go for this other person." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess let's do that." You just don't know. You really don't know. So once you adapt the mentality is if they didn't choose you, it's their mistake, it's their bad. You don't feel some type of way when you don't get something. You just say, "Okay, no problem, keep it moving." If your agent calls you and says, "Oh, you didn't get it," all right, cool, keep it moving. Even when they call me and tell me good news, I say, "All right, cool." And they say, "Are you happy?" I say, "Yes, I'm happy." But what can I do? I cannot be in jubilation every time I get something and in devastation every time I don't, because that would mean that I would be in devastation 97% of the time. That don't make sense. So you sort of have to put your big boy pants on or your big girl pants on, and just accept that it is what it is, and keep it moving, because you're built to last.
there you go. And I think you are too. And I remember that every time you came for an audition, you were always prepared. But for people out there, how do you prepare for an audition? Do you have certain tricks to go for an audition? Is there certain things you do, meditation or something? I don't know.
I don't want to bore your people, but no, I don't do any of that. I don't really believe in all that stuff. I think that each person needs to do whatever they feel they got to do to get ready for the role. So if you feel like you understand the role, that's your job. If you don't, if you're very, very far from the role and you want to do that role, then you might have to do a lot of work to try to understand it. I try to focus on roles that I'm already kind of understand, because I feel like that's just my opinion. I just feel like you're already in a better position to maybe get that role. If you look like the part and if you understand the part, I think that goes a long way. I don't really make a habit of trying to go for roles that I don't understand and that I don't look like I should get. I don't want to fight against the wind. I want to go with the flow. And then when I get in the position where I can choose, maybe I'll choose something different than what the world sees me as. But so, and as a result of that, to answer your question, it's just getting ready to give your interpretation of how you would do the role. And it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. What matters is that you stay in their mind. Like, for example, that dude I didn't cast, don't you think he's in my mind? The other guy that I cast is not on the podcast with us, but he is. And I know that the next time I meet him, the next time we cross paths, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So you see, it's about being remembered, not about getting the part. And I think once we remember that, just go out there and have some fun. You know, don't be so caught up in trying to get it. Just do what you think is best and have fun.
Thank you so much for your great advice. We had a question up there from, just go a bit higher. Somebody says, was that Jared Kiso funny to work with? This is Noah asking.
Yes, absolutely. One of the funniest people I've ever met, and one of the kindest people I've ever met. You know, I'm still waiting for him to write me a role on one of his shows, because obviously he's way out there now. So hopefully he remembers me and he writes me a role. But yes, a very genuine person, one of the most realest people I've ever met in this business in all my 35 years. So yeah, definitely a great person, and extremely funny for sure.
So nice. What advice would you give to your young self if you were starting out today? Your younger self.
Again, I don't want to be boring for your audience, but if I'm being honest, and I've said this before, if I could talk to myself when I was 20, when I thought I was going to catch Denzel in 4 or 5 years, that was my estimate. I was like, I'm 21, 4 or 5 years, I got Denzel, we good. That, as you all know, that did not happen. Not only did it not happen, the gap has widened in the time. So what I would say to my younger self, if I'm being honest, I would, myself now, looking at my 21-year-old self, I would say, be a doctor. That's what I would say, because it's more, this game is more complicated than obtaining a doctorate. It's because you have to be not only an artist, apparently you have to be a financial, like financially responsible, because you're running a business, which I never knew. No one ever told me that. I just wanted to make money and be rich and be famous and ball. I didn't want to be responsible. Yeah, who wants to do that? That's boring, right? I had no idea, that's what it takes. But that's what it takes. It takes that. It takes, like, you have to be mentally, like, stable on your game and have enough self-confidence and self-esteem to not be affected by the rejection. So what kind of oxymoron is that? Like, you're going into a business that is, in my opinion, 97% rejection. People that are going in the business are trying to fill up some type of void, I would assume. So you're already coming in with the empty tank, and you're going into a business with so much rejection. So you have to be that person. You have to be a financial guy. You have to be creative and artistic. It's like you have to be so many things that I don't know people. I had no idea that that's what. When I said, what is it? I had no idea that that's what I was walking in. Of course I love it. Of course I wouldn't change it. But I would say, and in theme with Built to Last, understand this is a marathon. Understand that this is not a sprint. No matter how successful you get, and you might get successful at the beginning, and you might hit a couple home runs, trust me, it won't last. You have to last. You have to be built to last. Because no matter how hot you are, no matter how great you are, it's always going to be dips and valleys, and you have to be built for that. And not everybody is. So some people who know they're not built for that, maybe they should think of something else, because you definitely have to be built for a marathon.
Yes, you got to be strong, courageous, and, be consistent, like I was saying a bit earlier as well. Because have you ever wanted to quit?
Just like you, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just like you're built to last. You're very resourceful. Like, you are a model entrepreneur, and I'm sure if you were telling stories, you'd have a lot of people that did not want to see you in the business, did not want to see you be as successful. And however many years later, because, I don't want to say how many years, but many, many years later, you're still plugging away, you're still kicking, and you're still successful. So kudos to you, because you are the example of what it takes to be built to last.
Thank you so much, Ben. Yes, I keep going. I never thought I had like a live podcast like that, That was started last year, so you never know where it's going to take you.
She's speechless.
So, did you hear that? Yes. There's a quick question.
No, I didn't hear. What'd you say?
I'm just checking if there's a quick question in the
Oh,
in
okay,
the
what is-
chat. But yes, thank you. What I'm saying is I didn't even think that I was going to do this even years ago. So, I mean, who knows? You know, you got to go with the flow. Times are changing. You got to adapt. Just like now, we have self tapes and everything else. So, adapt or die.
I
Did you
adapt
hear
or die.
that?
Absolutely. Adapt or die.
Yes, yes, yes.
I heard adapt or die. I didn't hear what.
Adapt or die. Well, way of speaking, obviously, right? You've got to adapt and push yourself and kick yourself in the butt.
Yes.
If you keep, you know, pushing and kick yourself in the butt, that's what I'm saying. You've got to be your best friend. That's what I'm saying.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Give yourself a big kick in the butt. If you can't do that, get someone to kick you in the butt. You have to keep going.
Exactly. And how do you stay motivated during the slow periods?
You know, thank God in the last, 10 years, there hasn't really been many slow periods for me. But when things don't go according to your plan, you have to implement your backup plan. That's where being responsible comes in. That's when all that boring stuff comes in. Because if you're going in there thinking you're depending on this for your survival, then that's not a good place to start. If you're going there thinking, listen, I'm good, I'm going to survive whether I get this or not, so let's go in there and have some fun, then they won't smell that desperation that they don't want. They don't want that desperation. So you have to sort of remove that stink off of you. And I think the way to do it is to not be dependent on, from a financial standpoint, to not be dependent. So that way, if you're not dependent, you end up doing things that you want to do and not things you have to do. So if you decide to do something, it's because you want to, not because you have to. And I remember doing things in the past where I felt like I had to in order to survive. So I removed that. That was one thing I removed from my life. So now when I go to the negotiating table, I'm okay with it. If it doesn't go, that's fine for me. It's all good, And that's not to say, not in a cocky sense, but you have to, for your mental sanity, for your mental health, you cannot attach your worth to whether or not you get this part or whether or not they value you the way that they should, because you're the one that has to determine your value. Has to be realistic, of course, but you have to sort of understand their job is to not give you value. Your job is to give yourself value. So you're already on opposite sides of the fence, and you have to make them see it your way, which is not always easy. But it's certainly, first step is to be independent, financially independent of the project that you're going for. Because if you can start with that, I think that goes a long way to going in there with the right mindset.
Thank you so much for that. It's very insightful. And there's one more question from Olivier. He says, if you had someone like me starting today with no experience, what would be the first reactions you'd ask them to take over the next 30 days? That's a big question, but yes.
Over the next 30 days, well, I would ask them to look in the mirror and figure out if they really want to do this. If they feel that they're built for this, because what is the this is to find out what is the this. It's a marathon, and to actually be honest and say, yes, I want to do this. I'm built for this. I want this. Once you can answer those questions, then just dive in. Get your headshots. Figure out what's going on in the business. Get yourself someone who knows about the business to represent you, and start getting out there, because only you can play you. There's only one person in the world that can be you. So you never know, how far you can get. Don't let anybody tell you no, for sure.
Do you have one agent or like 3 agents right now?
Say it again.
So for representation, you have 1 agent for all the cities, or you have
Yes.
3 agents?
Okay, so for representation, so that's a tough one, because you know, a lot of times we used to think of agents as geographic. So if you want an agent in Montreal, or if you want one in Toronto or in Vancouver, that's how we used to think. Now, with all the self-tapes and stuff, I don't know that you need to have that separation. I think if you click with that person and you wanna spend time, you know, with that person, and they want to spend time with you, I think you should choose a person. That's how I choose my people now. So it's not always easy because you change. You know, the thing you want today is not the thing you want in 5 years. So the agent that you like, that you get along with today, though you think is the best for you today, it might not be what you want in 5 years. Because probably what you need in 5 years will probably change. And they might not want to change with you because they have a business model that works. And that's what I found. I found that agents that I've had at certain times were great, were fantastic. And then once my needs changed, they were no longer the person that needed to be the quarterback. Because essentially you're the quarterback. And I think that's another thing too that's hard to express to someone who's starting out. Your agent is working for you, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they think. They're working for you. You can also say you're working together. It's a collaborative effort. But, you know, you're the quarterback. So when you say hut one, hut two, I want that ball in my hands, you know. So I think as I grew older, I started realizing that, you know, no matter how much you want to be with that agent also has to want to be with you. And that wasn't something I always understood. It might be simple, and some people might understand that intrinsically, but that was a lesson for me to finally hook up with the people that I wanted to be with and that wanted to be with me. Because once the heat stops and once the fire dies or once the wave is over, all you have is that relationship. So, and they have to believe in you. So if they didn't really believe in you from the beginning and they were just riding a wave, then when the wave goes down and your needs change, how are they going to adapt? You know? So that's an ever-changing, moving target, agents. You have to sort of figure out, you know, what works for you. And it's going to be different for everyone.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. I mean, it's a relationship. It's like a marriage. So you have to make it work properly. Otherwise, you got to divorce. But divorce well in a good transition.
This marriage, if it hopefully, but the difference with the marriage with the agent is that it can only cost you 15%. That's great. Real marriages cost a lot more than that. That's for sure.
That's right. All right, very short questions. The dream role you haven't played yet?
Dream role?
Yeah.
Dream role. This might be anticlimactic, but I believe I've already had my dream role.
Ooh.
And my dream role was in 19.2. I believe I've already had my dream role because why was it a dream role is because it challenged me in ways that I could not understand, yet it inspired people in ways that I could not comprehend.
Wow.
So while we were creating the character, I had no idea what I was doing, as is the story of my life. Pods helped me navigate and create this amazing character that I did not understand what I was playing the character, because again, it's dream role.
Yeah.
Dream role. This might be anticlimactic, but I believe I've already had my dream role.
Ooh.
And my dream role was in 19.2. I believe I've already had my dream role because why was it a dream role is because it challenged me in ways that I could not understand, yet it inspired people in ways that I could not comprehend.
Wow.
So while we were creating the character, I had no idea what I was doing, as is the story of my life. Pods helped me navigate and create this amazing character that I did not understand what I was playing the character, because again, it's the psychological makeup of someone who is an alcoholic, who is mostly a functioning alcoholic, who is hung over and having to deal with all those things is very complex. Yet the number of people that come up to me and say, my God, that was me. I saw myself in what you were doing. That is me. And that was me. I don't drink anymore because of that character. So it's a character that inspired so many people. And in the end, when I rewatch it, I sort of reteach myself how to act, because sometimes you think you know, and then you realize, no, that's it. And you got enough money and you want to do something different, more power to you. But a lot of young actors I hear, I'm like, you realize that no one has seen you play that, right? Like, you've seen yourself play that and no one else has seen you play that. So don't be so quick to get off of that, because you're starting to now be good at it, at that, what you just did. So try to find another opportunity, another avenue to play that, and let the world see it, because the world has, I promise you, the world has not seen it. So I'm very willing to rinse and repeat any performance I've done, and, you know, add a little sprinkle to it and remix it and then represent it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who haven't seen it.
Great advice, Benz. And the last question from the audience is for that character, actually, for 19.2. Did you research addiction, speak with people who had experienced alcoholism, or do anything to make it feel, you know, real?
You know, again, I have to keep it real, because I know actors to say, you know, I did 6 months of research for that, and I just can't do it. I don't even like when people start doing that. For me, it wasn't about that. It was about connecting to that character, and that character was the pain. The pain that character had, we find something you understand, hang your hat on that, and build it from there. I didn't want to, I didn't think it, for me, it was beneficial to go with the addiction. The addiction was not, that was not the sandwich for me. The sandwich was for me to understand the pain. And one of our lines that I said in the French show is, I said, and at the time when I said it, I remember saying, do less, even less, even less. Just don't even move, just say it. And I said, les démons, je les ai dans le cul full time. Wow. And you know, referring to the demons that are forcing him in his mind to drink, and the ones that he's trying to quiet in his mind. And, you know, again, something I understand now. I had no idea what the hell I was doing back then. That's why you have to have a director. And he was like, no, you don't. It's there. Just do it. And the amount of times people come up to me and say, when you said that, I was like, wow, I got it. And so you see, understanding it doesn't mean as much as people think it means. Sometimes trusting the process and trusting the teammates and trusting the other people, the other professionals that are there to guide you, is more valuable than thinking you know. Going into all this research and thinking that you know. Yeah, if you know a character, that's fantastic. You know, you can bring that to the table. But you still need to find the vulnerability, because that's what sells, and that's what hooks, and that's what people remember. And for that character, that's exactly what I didn't want to do, is what I ended up having to do, which is to be vulnerable. And to this day, I don't want to be vulnerable. I want to be in control. I want to be the man. I want to be the man. I want to be the character that everybody that's in control. But the vulnerability is what sells. And I think not knowing, being right on the edge of knowing and not knowing, of course, I'm way on the other side. I never know anything. But being on the edge of not knowing and not being sure, I think gives great performances.
Well said. Well said. And if we say, what's next for Benz now? What's next for you?
What's next? Well, believe it or not, I'm on another cop show. I'm on a cop show now called St. Pierre. This is a cop show that's on CBC. We're starting season 3 in a few weeks. And I play a police chief. So I graduated from being an officer to a police chief. I guess the grades have something to do with that. And even though I cover them with Just for Men, I just cover them all, but they can still see them. So that's what's next for me. I'm on St. Pierre, looking forward to get that going, and I have a couple of personal projects that I'm getting off the ground, and I'm very excited about that as well, because that's the beauty of knowing where your next paycheck is coming from. You can now focus on other things that you want to do. One thing that I'll say, because we're all friends here, so we can share. One of my projects that I'm working on is a project called 38.4, and 38.4. For those of you who are quick, you see 38.4 going once, going twice. No, not sold. 38.4 is 19.2 times 2. So I'm going to tell the story, some of the stories that you heard today, but I'm going to tell the stories of that only I can tell because I'm the only one who did both. So I'm going to tell the stories from my perspective, from the French journey and onto the English journey. And the book is called 38.4. So that's what they used to call me because I wasn't 19.2. I was working on both at the same time. So I was 38.4. And so that's what the book is called. So that's one of the projects I'm working on now, and among other things. And but we're all going to be friends now on social media. I got everybody's name here. We're good. We're all going to follow each other, and it's all love. We're gonna find each other, and we're gonna follow all each other's projects.
Absolutely, passion projects are key, and we're going to follow you too. We're going to put all your links in the chat for your Instagram so people can follow your career, because I know you're posting some stuff. You guys can all follow Benz Antoine's career. It's very, very cool. And are you going to stay with us with the breakout rooms, Benz? You know what that is?
Unfortunately, I will not be able to stay with the break. No, and I have no idea what it is. I might be missing on something great, but I have to go pick up my friend. That was the deal.
All right.
But definitely, I'm sure it's going to be a lot. Whatever it is, and if I could have stayed, I would have definitely loved to have stayed. You probably sent it to me in an email, and I maybe didn't read it, so it's my bad again. I'm always the last to know. So, what is the breakout room? Just so I know what I'm missing.
So the breakout rooms is we separate everybody in little rooms so they can connect. That's why it's called Showbiz Connect, and everybody present themselves and they can make connections, and that's the whole idea of Showbiz Connect. So that's the key, and this is how even Matt found his agent. Some people make connections, some people are working together now, so it's wonderful. So thank you so much for being there.
Well, I hope everybody good luck and to connect with. Absolutely. And
everybody,
if any of y'all want to connect with me on Instagram, I'm on Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you for being there.
Benz.
Hey, merci beaucoup. Là.
Yes,
thank you, Benz.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Benz, for your wisdom and your experience that you share with us today. Thank you.
It's my
great advice. Thank you, Benz, for great advice.
I'm going to try to follow some of it.
Thank you for all the honesty.
And everybody will be
number one thing is to be real. I love that.
Yes. Everybody will be able to see the interview on the YouTube after in Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And Ben will send you the link for all of that. So thank you so much again from everybody and from me. And I will see you soon. And maybe at Comic-Con.
One of my favorite persons in the world. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye, Ben.
We'll see you at Comic-Con.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Thanks, Benz.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Ben. So Showbiz Connect is happening once a month, every second Wednesdays with the same link. You can also watch all the amazing last episodes you missed on my YouTube channel, Casting Vlog, or type Showbiz Connect and the link, it will be in the chat. So you can also listen to the past show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify while you drive. Follow us and connect on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn for more news, breakdowns, and special events. So keep the buzz, my showbiz, and share the link to Showbiz Connect for others to profit from the knowledge and connections. All right, a huge thank you to my guest, Benz, and to my showbiz. Build your career to last, not just to launch. And I will see you back next month on Showbiz Connect.